Hey everybody, it's Sonjdradeluxe. Can I get a hell yeah? Yeah. Okay, did you watch Wednesday? Because it's super fun to watch. Highly recommend. If you're new to my channel, we talk about building a makeup look off of a vibe rather than trying to imitate the exact thing. So I want to emulate some of Wednesday's makeup looks and Morticia Addams makeup looks, but I don't want to look like I'm cosplaying as the character or like giving Halloween. If you really look at the makeup of these characters, it's not crazy shapes and shadows and stuff like that. It's more just giving off a vibe, and you have to take into consideration when you're trying to create that vibe on yourself in everyday life, you have to exaggerate it a little bit more so it gives the same vibe off, because they're shooting with certain lighting, they're shooting with certain costume to give the whole vibe of the show. When you want to carry that home with you and create something else, it's almost like it feels like you have to go Halloween or cosplay or nothing at all. So this is how to introduce some goth glam into your makeup looks and have a similar vibe rather than trying to look exactly like the character. We're gonna give some Wednesday Addams, maybe we'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about a little bit Morticia Addams, the romantic dark, think of wilted roses, but very mesmerizing eyes. So let's get started. So a common theme with both Wednesday and Morticia are these kind of cheekbones, and I have to say contour is visible. Even though it does create shadows and kind of sculpt the face, if it's too far out of where you naturally have contours, it's visible. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of people will do the kind of contour that goes down like this. It can kind of give beard a little bit. We will do that, but just keep in mind for your everyday looks, if you're starting to experiment with shadows to give that kind of sunken sallow cheek, that is the word. Keep in mind that your contour is visible, so even though you're trying to get that same kind of look, try not to do it too intense. If you are just trying to incorporate more of a goth glam look into your makeup looks, contour is a shadow, and when you move, the shadow doesn't, and that's why it's visible. Just like with highlight, I like to use something a little bit more sheer so it catches the light. You can't see it at every angle, but contour is to give a shadow to your face, so keep that in mind. My cheeks are here, so when I smile and I have that down line there, it just doesn't quite look right. We can play with it a little bit, but first thing I want to say, if you're using anything, try and do a black wash of it or do a gray wash of it. I'd invite you to take a blush that is a little bit lighter than your skin tone and not brighter, not showing more color. That's going to give kind of a flushed, healthy, bright look. We want everything to be kind of toned down and sallowed, and like I said, gray wash. Also, this blush was when I worked at MAC, like number one thing I would suggest to like a lot of people, like Indian girls who wanted a little bit of blush but didn't want it to look too rosy. This is a really great one. So anyways, so as you can see, this has a little bit of a cool tone to it. Just a swatch like this, it's kind of like light. Now if I take it and put it on somewhere and rub it in and let the oils of my finger or my skin kind of mix it in, which I'm doing right here, I want you to look at how it looks when it hits the oils. See how it's kind of got a little bit of that pinkiness in it? There's a little bit of a cool tone to it. Usually if you're a deeper skin tone, things will show up cooler toned on you. So that's why even if I want to have a gray eyeshadow, I'll go a little bit of a warmer gray, if that makes sense. And if you're quite fair, things will show up a lot more warm or more red or more rosy on you. So you do want to go for the truer grays and stuff like that. But I just want to show you a little bit of the oil from my skin. This light color turns into this. So I think this is a beautiful way to add that kind of sallowness, have a little bit of life, but not too much, because it's the Addams family, you know? So this, I'm gonna take my fluffy brush, and I'm doing everything quite high and quite light. I still want to have a little bit of life with the blush, because it's not like they're giving a dead look where things are gray or whatever. It's almost like a bruising effect. And this doesn't really look like a blush, but I actually really like the color that it's giving. I'll zoom in a little. And this is more of a matte shade. If you do want to turn it down, I would just do it like lightly. I wouldn't actually contour as heavy as I have right here in this small space, because like I said, beard vibes. And I want to pull this up a little bit, not adding more color, but just blending it so you can't see a line of where I stopped. And this works best, of course, with more matte shades. I'm gonna pull it up here a little bit, give us a little bit of a rosy look, but not quite. It's just kind of a different color of contour. I'm gonna put a little into the crease of my eye as well. And I'm just using the brush lightly. And the reason why I'm starting with this is this will kind of cool down anything I put kind of on top of it. So if I do want to go in with a contour shade, it will mix in with my contour and kind of cool it down a bit, so I'm not getting my sun-kissed bronze look that I love. We're doing gothy glam today. I'm also going to take that same blush color, Prism by MAC, and we're just gonna do it underneath. So I think that because it looks like she kind of has those tired eyes, we're drawn to giving ourselves kind of dark circles, which isn't really flattering, but the way that she's done it, it is very flattering on her face because it's actually not like a true gray, blue, whatever to make it look like she got punched in the eyes. It's almost like a sleepless look. So even though you're doing your concealer and stuff, we're bringing it back a little bit to give more of a flattering, sleepless look. It's almost like a bruised type of vibe. Neither Morticia or Wednesday, they don't have anything too crazy going on with their makeup. It's more so a play on color and shape in a subtle way. So I'm putting this here. I really like to contour the inner parts of my eyes. This is what I would do with bronzer, but because it's kind of this color, it's giving a little bit more of like a dark goth glam type of look, and you don't have to whiten your skin to have that vibe. Just introduce more cool tones. Should I contour my nose with this? I don't know if this will work. Let's try it. Kind of working, but kind of giving too much life. We need more of a cool color. So with Wednesday's eyes, it's a little bit more of creating shadows, this kind of like angry look, and whereas Morticia's more looking at you from above in a very regal manner. So I think I'm gonna do kind of Wednesday's eyes. Morticia doesn't have a ton on her eyes. It's more of like a more subtle version of how Wednesday's eyes are. And ever since I can remember, I always like to reduce, reuse, recycle. So I like to use palettes more than once. I'm gonna go back into this one because it has some really good cooler tone shades in here. Like this, it's almost like a darker color of that blush that we use. So we can really build up a little bit of shadow here. I'm gonna start with a bit of a lighter color again, just to build a shape a little bit. We're gonna go under the eyes. So it's not like we're trying to look dead. We're just trying to build a little bit of shadow under here. I mean, that kind of almost like does it. And that's what I always say, like never write off a light color because you don't know how dark it is until you actually put it on. And I take that same color, and this is a little more of a rounder shape when it comes to Wednesday, not pulled out to the furthest part of our freaking forehead like I like to do. And it's a cooler tone. Usually I put my bronzer in there, something that gives a sun-kissed look. I'm trying to kiss death today. It's all very matte looks. We're not making ourselves look more tired, just giving a little bit more of like a, you know. I'm gonna do a little bit of that on the outer third of my lid as well to tie it together. Because it's not so much that we're trying to make our eyes look bigger or anything. We're just trying to give this, like I said, almost bruised look. Now we can go in with this darker shade here to put in a little bit more of a shape. Again, I would think that I would love if I was Morticia to have a really big wing or, you know, that kind of drama. But it's not that. It's not awake. It's not cat eye. It's like living dead. So I'm just gonna smush this along my lash line, just tapping it to create a little bit more depth there. Again, all of these colors, like they don't look that dark, but because of the way that we're layering them, it's giving a bit of darkness to it. I'd like to just do a little bit along the lash line. As you can see, you can't really tell where things start or stop. It's just kind of giving an overall vibe. I'm gonna do a little bit of that underneath as well because we've done those transition shades of the blush and all that. When you don't have the mood lighting and all of these movie props and stuff, you have to be a little bit more dramatic with it. And that's why I like to be a little bit more dramatic with shadowing and lighter colors rather than going just straight for black. No one's wearing black eyeshadow in that, but you really get the message across. Okay, so I want to bolden it up a little bit, if that makes any sense. This palette we used in our last video. I'm gonna go into this gray color and just do a little bit on the eye line. And it's kind of a charcoal gray color. You could use a black if you want, but I don't really want to show any lines because this is already so smoky. I'm just kind of tapping it. I'm gonna take a little bit of my mascara. This is the Benefit. What is this one? Oh, They're Real Magnet Mascara. These are the lashes I used in my O Face submissive makeup look, but I kind of just brushed them out so that they didn't have that stuck together look. But they're half, I think these are Bombshell lashes by Kiss. They are so dirty. Oh, and there's the plastic on it still, haha. And I'm gonna put them kind of on the outside. Oops. Try to be very careful. I should have done the mascara second, but I didn't. Oh yeah, we're good. Are we? I don't know. We're good. I noticed they don't really have a lash forward type of look, and I love my long dramatic kind of lashes. So I'm gonna take my cooler tone contour color that I usually use to contour my nose. I'm gonna be a little bit more specific with it because we already did our blush. It's just going to help to enhance it, give us a little bit more of those sallow cheek vibes. Again, going down, just let it end there. A little skeletal vibe, but not actually putting that intensity that we have, you know, around here in that area here. Just letting it disappear there. So I've had little nose contour, but we're doing it lightly because we already have those other colors there. So whenever you put your contour, it kind of takes on the color of that thing that we put down first, our transition shade, or the blush, Prism blush. Prism, not prison. Nose contour a little bit. One size powder, my fave, between the brow. Oh, what's going on with my forehead? Okay, down a little bit here. Usually I powder before I do my contour, but a different vibe today. Okay, so I want to show you a few different ways that you can enhance your lips with giving a little bit of that Gothy Glam vibe. So let me show you. Okay, so I have two different lips. I'm going to show you the Morticia lip first. Hers is more in command, control, romance. Again, kind of like a black wash or gray wash or something a little bit more dull. So I have this color called Raven, Magnetic Matte Lip by NudeStix. And for her, hers is more structured. And these really beautiful lips. So you see how it's kind of burgundy, but almost toned down a little bit with, if you build it up, you get more of like there's a touch of black in it. That's what I mean. I'm low-key so bad at doing lips, but I love lips. And over the years, Morticia's always kind of been known for having some type of red lip, if it's like a blood red, or this is kind of like ox blood color. Just taking my concealer brush and smoothing the edges. Which is great to do if you're a lazy gal and you don't put lip liner. But I'm making it look nice and clean-ish. So let me show you the Wednesday lip. Okay, now for our girl Wednesday, she has more of like a stained grunge type of look, less perfection, less bold, but more just kind of a sallow look. So I have this color, this is actually called Burgundy, also by NudeStix Magnetic Matte. I'm using matte colors. I'm gonna put quite a bit in the center of my lip. Oops, why am I just being unhinged here? Holy. And I'm gonna blend it out. No straight lines, no kind of perfection in that way, just kind of nice, little bit stained lips. I think you could even go for like a cooler color than that, to be honest. But you want to look for something like the color that you want to achieve and then cool it down a little bit. Make it look a little bit more icy. This is probably a little warm. I feel like we could go cooler. One sec. Okay, sorry. This is the Tahiti Hotte Magnetic Lip Plush Paint. It's almost like lip color, but a little cooler. I mean, I could probably go cooler, but I'm just liking this. And this is already like blurring it for you. I think if you wanted to, you can add a little bit of that burgundy color in the center, not too much. But her colors were all kind of muted and kind of like a more intense lip actual color kind of lit. Okay, take off my headband, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna put on the dark lip again because I think I was feeling it. Or also, you might notice I didn't really do highlighter. I want to keep everything quite matte, like lifeless, you know? Yeah. So let me take off my headband, be right back. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see a little bit more of like a full type of goth type of look, let me know. This is more just to get that dark, feminine, goth glam type of vibe into your makeup routine without completely changing it. It's mostly a change of colors, a little bit of change of placement, and totally taking out some steps of your makeup. But if you like this, let me know. I would love to do more. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to share, subscribe, and follow. Love yourself, stay pretty, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Take care. Catherine Zeta-Jones.